Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be here with you guys this evening. So sorry about the beginning intro of our show tonight. It normally would be a little bit more smoother. Glad that you guys are here. Tonight we have another powerful conversation that we need to have about what happened yesterday in Washington, D.C. And our two co-hosts this evening are ladies that I just love to sit around the hot topics table and talk to them about the latest things that have been happening. Also, later on in the show this evening, we welcome Mr. Leon Walker. He's a book author and a self-proclaimed relationship guru. He's a really great guy. He's your guy that everybody knows, the charming, nice-looking, great career guy, but has had a lot of bumps in the road. And tonight he'll be here to talk to us about how to translate all the negativity that have been in a lot of men's lives into positivity. And we're going to talk about love languages, okay? So joining us now are the two queens in waiting, Miss Kay Renee of Karen's Nuggets of Knowledge. That's what it is. That's what it might be, should be, it is. Oh, my dear. How are you? Hey, darling.
Hey, Chat Daddy. How are you, darling? Happy Friday Eve. Friday.
Friday, like we love it. And I'm so glad it's here. But you know what? I cannot wait for us to have this conversation this evening. So much has gone on in the last 24 hours in our country that I have just been overwhelmed. And so let's bring in our second guest co-host. She's been here with us many times before. We just love and adore her. We've actually become a really good trio. We need to hit the Las Vegas spots once they open. I think we could sing and entertain all at the same time. Back with us is the one and only Kim Coleman of Sister Girl Speaks. Yay! Let me add her. Yay! What's happening?
Did somebody say sing? I can sing. I can dance. I can do everything.
Well then okay. Then we good. Then we headed to Vegas. Once this pandemic has settled down, then we will have a lounge act where we will get up, entertain, and then sit down and tell it like it is every night. We
I'm going everywhere. I'm never gonna be in
yes. Absolutely. Well, here's the 2021, the new year. Glad you ladies are back. All right, Kay Renee, you got yours. Very good. So, ladies, in the last 24 hours, we've seen a lot of shenanigans, foolery, hot mess. And I want you ladies to keep in mind that 8 months ago is when we had the looting and rioting here in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And for a majority of that, it was us on display. And when I say us, I mean chocolate people, brown people, from what we saw in the media. Yesterday at the Capitol, we saw other that had no problem posing for pictures, others that had no problem identifying themselves or wanting to be identified. So yesterday was really a case of white privilege at its best. Kim, help us to understand what went on yesterday.
Well, yesterday, January 6th will go down, as FDR said, in history. As you all know, we voted the first Tuesday in November. After that, each state ratifies the votes. After those votes are ratified, then they're taken to the Electoral College, which is usually the state legislatures, and they are ratified by the Electoral College, of course. And then each person who is a representative, the senators and the representatives, the 435 members of Congress, just does a basic ceremonial, usually a ceremonial thing about making sure that it is ratified who's going to be the next president. Most of the time, this is just a ceremony. It's just basically the Congress saying, look, we welcome who this is, and this is a part of our democracy. Yesterday, Donald John Trump, who has lost 89 times during this election, decided to have a riot or parade, basically getting his supporters to storm the Capitol. He used, very suggestive language in gearing them up, saying that he was going to go with them and go to the Capitol and demand that they change the votes. Well, he got in his limousine going back to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and the rest of the people bombarded the Capitol. They were welcomed into the Capitol by the police. They went into the halls of the police of the Capitol. Some of them went into the offices of Nancy Pelosi, who is third in command to become president. Office was raided. You saw the gentleman sitting at her desk. He grabbed some of her mail. Hakeem Jeffries, who's a part of the Democratic leadership, was on Wolf Blitzer tonight saying he saw someone pee in the hallway. Other people, yes, this was Hakeem Jeffries. Other people who had witnesses said that there were people that were getting high in some of the congressional offices. Now, not only was Nancy Pelosi's life in danger, but Mike Pence, the vice president, was there along with his family. Not only Mike Pence, Kamala Harris was there. So if something had have really jumped off yesterday, there would have been a constitutional crisis like no other. You would have had the Speaker of the House who would have been harmed. You would have had the current vice president and the future vice president.
Okay, now, thank you, Kim. You summed that up exactly. I couldn't have said it better. Amen. Hallelujah. Round of applause. Everybody on social media is agreeing as well, too. Just think, 1 o'clock yesterday is when the entire world changed. It was when we exposed ourselves so bad. And this is what I said on last night's show, that I said to you ladies, I said, ladies, I need you both Thursday night. I said, you're like a pot of gumbo. You better the next day. And I was right, because let me tell you, so much has transpired in the last 24, 28 hours that it has just been overwhelming. Kay Renee, you've had a lot of thought about this as well, too. What was your take on yesterday?
You know, Art, when I actually was out taking care of some business. So when I returned and I saw the television of the siege of these terrorists, because that's exactly what they are. They're not patriots, as someone on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue said. They are domestic terrorists that bombarded the Capitol. And not only that, I mean, unfortunately, people died. One person in particular who I initially thought, because I had heard that it was a 16-year-old woman, turns out she was, a Air Force veteran, and she tried to, scramble in the door and got shot. So there were other, people who died. To date, 90 people have been arrested, and I'm sure there are going to be many more. And let's not forget, not only did these fools bombard the Capitol, there were found 2 pipe bombs and 11 Molotov cocktails around this Capitol.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
My thing is this. Where in the hell was the police? Because let's remember, Kim and Art, back in the summer when peaceful protests of people looking like the three of us want to protest, civil unrest. They had everybody and Pookie's mama outside, National Guard, all the police, throwing tear gas, doing all this SHIT. But the moment someone else looking not like us goes and bombards our Capitol, our democracy, hell, there were some police that were welcoming them. They were taking selfies. In fact, there was one West Virginia lawmaker who just signed up, and I know the name because y'all can look it up. Derek Evans, a newly elected member of the West Virginia House of Delegates, was part of this Trump mob that bombarded the Capitol. Pictures. So the FBI finally is going to do its job and arrest every MF that went up in that Capitol. And they should be arrested, because this is now, you talk about treason. And I know we're going to get into all what's happened, but let me tell you, Kim had posted some images of how most Black folks were looking when this went down. What picture were you looking like? One looked like Seeley, and that's why I was looking like, let's keep it, because if it were any one of us, we would have been shot, we'd have been arrested, and some of us would have been dead. Now I'm gonna really keep it real.
No, you don't keep
like
it real.
that,
You don't keep it real. Right.
Damn
Right.
bad.
Right.
Because we're living in a different America. But guess what? America's always been like this. Now we're fully exposed for who
Yep.
we are.
Can I make another point that a lot of
Yes.
you are not making?
Mhm.
We got, and I don't like to use the word luck, but I'll use it in this case as far as America goes. If whoever our enemy is right now was monitoring this, it would have been a perfect day for another 9/11.
Absolutely.
Because you had the president was distracted.
Yeah.
The vice president was busy. Nancy Pelosi, who was third in demand, was busy. You had the police officers not doing their job. And you have a president that is not reading his intelligence reports.
No.
You have other some of those cabinet positions of national security that are not filled. So if a Al Qaeda or someone was monitoring all that was going on, they would have said, you know what, December 6th, we're going to have another 9/11, and we would have been totally caught off guard.
Now,
here's the ironic part, Kim. Yesterday was deemed Epiphany.
Yeah,
I posted that. I said, how ironic yesterday was deemed, and it's supposed to be a religious holiday, Three Kings Day, as I recall.
Yeah,
but I said, now look at here. Look at here. Well, guess what? I think all of us now have had an epiphany. And let's see what's going to happen going forward. Because as a result, the chief of police from DC has resigned. He will resign as effective.
It's the chief of police. 16th. No, it's the chief of police for the Capitol.
For the Capitol.
Right. For the Capitol.
Right.
He will resign effective December 16th. And, think about this, talk about history. This is the first time the U.S. Capitol had been overrun since the British attacked it and burned the building in August. Check the date out. Check the year.
You was getting ready to take my word. I was just getting ready to bring that up. You literally took that off of my script. That's so funny.
1814 during the War of 1812. That's 209 years ago. Now it's happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So now we're going to be going down in history. You know, when we're all gone and now spirit, it's going to be written about January 6th, 2021. And people say, where were you?
I want people to stop relating this to Black Lives Matter. This ain't got nothing to do. This is a hot mess, and this had nothing to do with us as Black folks. Anybody who was Black that we saw there yesterday, shame on you, your sellout ass. That's all we want to say. We're going to be kind and nice about it, but shame on you with your sellout ass, all right? You have got to understand, we've been repressed for so long, it is just absolutely ridiculous. And now your underbelly, they showed their ass yesterday. They showed their ass. They was all shaped, sizes, disabilities. They showed themselves yesterday. And here's the deal. You really do owe us an apology like you wouldn't believe. Let's release some stimulus. Let's get this economy moving again. Let's get these people cured from COVID-19. These are the things that we're asking for as Americans, and we're asking for this as Black people who have been treated so bad for so long.
Here's the thing, Art. The day started out pretty well. We found out early in the morning that Georgia was on everybody's mind first thing yesterday morning. Everybody. And Reverend Ralph Warnock and John Ossoff are now the Georgia senators-elect. Everyone was like, oh my God, Georgia's turned blue. Then we heard about, the two Louisville, Kentucky fire officers that got fired based upon Breonna Taylor. I was like, all right, this is good. Then around 1 o'clock, 1:30, you hear this shit going down. I said, Lord, what is, but everything happens for a reason. From a spiritual standpoint, God knows what's going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Now we're being truly exposed. This is probably a good thing, because now I'm hoping there's going to be some accountability. Healing will start. But we're gonna talk about some other stuff that's gonna be going down because the GOP, the Democrats, they now want to get together and say, okay, what we gonna do about theater chief? He got 13 days before he can get the hell up out of Dodge.
And that's what I wanted to find out from Kim. All the coverage that we had today, Kim, they're talking about having him impeached, having him removed before. I'm for it. It's time for you to go, sweetie. You got 24 hours. If you don't check out in 24 hours, we're going to have you removed. I'm for it because yesterday was truly a mockery of our government. It really was. Kim, what do you think about having him removed? Because 25th Amendment, correct?
Yes, sir. One of the things that I watched a few years ago was a conversation between George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton said something that has resonated with me. He said, when you realize how small of a time, whether it be 4 years or 8 years, you're in that Oval Office, you start to take it very seriously. And you realize how little it is about you. And so the presidency and impeaching Donald John Trump is really not about him, but it's about those that will come after him, right? So what it's saying is that not only do we just want to get you're a small part of this, but we want to make sure that, as Elijah Cummings said, when we are dancing with the angels, that no one else does this too. Or even if they think about it, they don't do it. So I am for, as I told someone, 9/11 was one day. 9/11, one day I'll tell my 9/11 story. 9/11 was one day, but it could change the trajectory of everything, and it can still happen. And so you must have someone in there who has a sense of history, who has a sense of empathy, and who takes the job seriously and understands it is not about them.
It's about the United States. That's right.
And that has been the main problem, Kim and Art, because he's never thought it was about the people. He's always thought it was about him. And everyone, all his enablers, who I fought as well, and we know who they are, and they know who they are, because their time is coming too. But it was always about him. And that's the problem.
Well, ladies, they have identified some of the people who were involved in yesterday's attack or siege of the Capitol. CNN gave the identification of many of the individuals from yesterday's unfortunate incident. One of the guys, I call him the dummy with his work ID on. A Maryland printing company has fired one of his employees and contacted the FBI after learning he was a member of the mob that broke into the U.S. Capitol building on Wednesday. The man wore his work ID badge and was standing there being well photographed in a picture that has gone all over the world. Okay. So he done lost his job. And then everybody wanted to know who was the hillbilly trashy hunk that had the fur on his head, the face paint, and the body tattoo. Well, he is from Arizona. He belongs to one of the groups that support Trump. His name is Jake Angles. And here's the deal. He's a model and actor and gets paid. He gets paid. What goes on modeling jobs?
He may do porn now because that's the only thing he'll get because he's gonna do nothing else.
I think I met him in a bar somewhere one time. I really do. Because I was like, wait a minute, I know that tattoo.
I'm done. Art.
I'm sorry. I digress. We got to get some humor out of all this, y'all. We got to get some humor out of all of this. Yeah, honey, if we don't get humor out of all this, we've been lost our minds, right?
That's right.
Some humor. But I do think I've seen that tattoo up close before. I do. Y'all know I'm into fur, so I think I have.
We love you, though. Right. We love you.
I love y'all too. That's what this is all about. Amen. All right, ladies. So yes, go ahead.
I want to say something, and I'm going to try and get through this without crying.
Okay.
In 2013, a young lady by the name of Marion Carey, she was a Black woman. She had mental health issues. I'm not sure exactly where she was from, but she was driving with her 13-month-old baby. And somehow she got discombobulated and she was driving to the Capitol. This was in 2013. No, not armed. She just had her baby. She had a mental health crisis and they shot her dead. They shot her 15 times.
Oh my
The
God.
same U.S. Capitol Police, they were letting those people into the Capitol yesterday. Shot an unarmed woman in front of her 13-month-old child. So I just want to say this. Do not talk to me about things. I love this country too. This country's been good to me and my family. Believe it or not.
Did we
Uh-oh.
lose? Oh,
There we
there you
go.
are. You back. Okay.
Is a thing. White privilege is a thing. Sorry. White
That's
privilege
okay.
is a thing. And it is true. And we are not treated fairly.
Amen.
So I dedicate my part in this show to Miss Miriam Carey and her daughter who was growing up without her mother.
And that's what this show is about. This show is also keep people informed about people that fell through the cracks. I remember that story now that you brought that story up. But then think about how many other people have faced just prejudice. I mean, I think I even read a story about the first time Minister Farrakhan ever went to the Capitol and how he was treated and turned away. And you know, we've got to think about just people losing lives and being treated so poorly for years. That's so beautiful of you to dedicate that to her, Kim. And I agree. Absolutely. We raise a glass to that sister.
Absolutely.
And a Shay and just wow. Yes, absolutely. Ladies, go ahead. Where were we? That was emotional.
Yeah.
I just want, people to understand when we as Black people complain, we don't want to deal with racism. But when it's up in our face, I have gone to that Capitol many a time. I went to the Capitol. I was telling my brother today about a month after 9/11. And you know how you just have a bunch of stuff in your purse? Well, maybe it's just me, because I could live off an island in a year for stuff I put in my purse. But you just put stuff in your purse and you just forget it. So I'm going through the metal detector and the man says, "Miss, step over here." Because I was going for a conference, a hearing thing. And I said, "Sir, what's wrong?" He said, you have scissors. Why are you bringing scissors to the Capitol building? I said, "Sir, I didn't even realize that the scissors was in there. I didn't even realize." And then when I saw these people going in yesterday, I'm like, I've been in that building several times.
Yes.
And ever since, even after that, I watch what's in my purse because I know how they act.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
No, our co-host last night was a congressional aide for 8 years. And even as she said yesterday, you even have to have the right color badge to even be able to gain access to places.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out who was the initial guards that said, "Oh, y'all come on in," or I'm trying to figure out what happened at that level. We're not even talking about maybe level 3 in security once they got into the chambers and places like that. So, this had to been an inside job.
I agree.
Without question. It's a significant and pronounced double standard between people and then people of color, point blank. And, someone is going to pay. Because I guarantee you, all those congressmen and women that were scared, really scared, they would life for maybe living or dead. They're not going to let this get away. And again, what you said earlier in the show, Art and Kim, all that idiot in chief did was incite. He incited this mob. And then all he did, he sipped his tea back at the White House, along with his son, along with his faux attorney. All them MFs went up there to incite violence. He knew what he was doing. for him to play, you know, because now the talk of the town is what he may not be mentally fit. Well, damn, he was never mentally fit when he came in office in 2016. It just got worse and worse, exacerbated on November 7th, 2020, when it was announced, and I'm like, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be running the country in 13 days.
Praise
So,
God.
again,
So, ladies, that I beg the question now, and forgive me for cutting you off, but
that's okay.
the inauguration, what will that look like? Personally, I think the inauguration need to be on Zoom. These people yesterday were climbing and scaling the bleachers. They were swinging off the poles of the bleachers, you know, and we know that the inauguration is going to be scaled back quite a bit because of COVID. Matter of fact, former President Jimmy Carter and First Lady Rosalind Carter, they will not be attending. They are in their 90s, and you know, we pray for them every day. The oldest living president and first lady, and so we understand they sent their well wishes, and you know, they sent their gift and all of that, and so we understand that. But then I don't know if I necessarily, I mean, I'm not a former president or a head of state, but I don't know if I'd be taking my behind to DC for an inauguration after what happened yesterday. What do you ladies think?
You know, I think they're going to have one, but here's what I'm hoping. I hope that Cheeto does not show up. If anything, he needs to be as far away from the inauguration as possible. They better be like Fort Knox. Seriously, have every, you know, have the helicopter.
Kim, are you planning on being there? I know, you know.
Barack and Michelle gonna be there. You know, George Bush is gonna be there with his wife. I haven't heard whether or not Clinton and Hillary gonna be coming because they're the last. They'll be there.
They'll be there.
So I'm pretty sure that even with Michelle and Barack, they're gonna have Pookie. They're gonna have some big, strong black men say, "Look, we're not having this." You know, they're gonna be having designated points of the Capitol. But I truly believe, and maybe this happened for a reason, so folks won't get slacking and complacent come January 20th.
Okay. All right, Kim, what do you think?
I think that you're going to have security like you've never had before. You're going to have two presidents. You'll have the ex-vice presidents probably there. Dick Cheney will probably not come. You'll probably have Dan Quayle and Al Gore. You know, it'll be more scaled back. They're saying they're going to do the parades virtually, so you'll have that. But let me just say this to both of you all. If you want to have a good time, there's a couple of things put on your bucket list. The first one is a political convention.
Yes.
Because if you go to your states, the states party, all of the drinks and food are free.
Yeah.
You don't pay for food that entire week.
Right.
Believe me, it is, and it is a lot of fun. And the conventions in the inaugurations, I went to 2008 and 2012, 2009 and 2000, what is the other one? Whatever the other one after, 2013. Right. And they were both wonderful. Yes, so if you ever get a chance to go, go. But this is going to be a little different.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, by the time we come back on Monday, there'll be a lot more that will have unfolded from this particular story that happened yesterday. Another black eye for the United States. And I don't mean that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say black eye, but really it is a black eye. Just to show you, our country is suffering, is in pain, and people need something new, something different. You know, I look beyond just Washington, D.C. I look for a higher power to give guidance and things like that. So we've got to do whatever we can to keep our energy up. We got to do whatever we can to stay alert. I do want to remind everybody, stay woke for the next 2 weeks. Stay woke, stay vigilant, watch your surroundings, be careful. The next 2 weeks in this country, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, anything like that. next 2 weeks in this country are going to be very critical, and you guys
Yes.
stay woke and pay attention.
Great
All
advice.
right, ladies.
Great
Thank you,
advice.
darling. Thank you. So for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Thursday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. These two beautiful ladies are my co-hosts tonight. The woman right next to me is the one and only Miss Kay Renee. We just love her. That's Miss Kim. Sister Girl Speaks down there. We love her as well, too. And these two ladies are here on Relationship Thursday. Coming up in just a little bit, Mr. Leon Walker will be here. Not only are these ladies beautiful and smart, but these ladies, we all have something in common, ladies. We do. You know what that is?
We single.
We're single. We are single. And we ready to mingle. And I think our love languages may be off. I don't know. I think mine may be off. So he's going to teach us about love.
I know mine is off, but that's okay.
Yeah. We want to shout out our beautiful co-host last night, Miss Thyteria Towns.
Yes. Hi, Lady T. You were wonderful. Wonderful last night. Oh, my goodness.
So let me give you guys a follow-up to last night's show. Lady T and I have kind of been working. I'm kind of her coach on dating. You guys know I got my start as a relationship coach, and so I'm back doing that again. And so next week I have yet another bachelor who will be coming on the show to talk with Lady T. And then I got some other surprises as well too. Oh yeah, we got something in the works. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, now when we're on Monday, now I just want to be clear, Kim, you gonna still marry Art because you know I'm the work wife. So what's our status? What's the deal?
I didn't win that. I didn't win that Mega Million.
No, I'm gonna have to take back what I said.
Right. Yeah. And look, I ain't mad, Kim. It ain't like I would, do this to you or roll my neck or any of that. I'm good. Right. You good. And here's the deal. Because you went across that line and said you want to be a wife, I'm gonna put you in the wheel. I'm gonna give you some. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you in the.
I don't know. I don't know. Because if you end up being Boo Boo the Fool, I'm going to come to Chicago and get some of my cousins out. You know, I'm from the west side. I'm from the west side of Chicago.
I love you. Right. What's that? Right. From the west side. Right. Maybe I might have
if they start acting up, I'm like, where Art live?
Right. I love you, Kim. But we'll see.
I love you too.
I do. That's what I love about you all on this show. Funny, right? I'm gonna get right. Here goes that here. Give us. I'm gonna put it in the wheel. You all. But then I'm trying to help you all to find your boo thing. So please put on your calendar Friday, January
29th,
8 p.m. Central Time. Limited seats. Men and women who are single, who are looking to meet their boo thing during this pandemic. We have a lot of work to do. I promise you guys you'll enjoy it. More information coming soon.
I gotta ask, Art, is boo thing also mean sponsor? Because I talked about that Monday.
Now, however you monetize your situation is however you monetize your situation.
Well, they have to be able to buy that $3,000 bottle of Hennessy.
Right.
Hey.
Thank you. See, you ladies, your priorities are bad. What was that?
Somebody, see, we talk about being safe. Y'all heard it from already. You heard it from Oklahoma. You heard it from where you are. Somebody was shooting over here. What the hell?
Oh Lord, be careful. Lord have mercy. Lord, I heard it. Right. Woo. Lord. Okay. Where were we?
We were talking about the 3,000. You said our priorities were messed up. My priorities are not messed up. But let me just say this: my priorities are not messed up. But I have standards. I'll be 54 in 6 weeks. And let me tell you something. I've had enough. I've had enough dates at the Rock and Roll McDonald's down there downtown. I'm not having no more dates at the Rock and Roll McDonald's.
Wait, I've got to tell you guys a story. This happened to me today. Let me just say this. Because we're indoors because of the pandemic, and I had a car accident last April, so I order things a lot now. DoorDash, Grubhub, on speed dial. So I said I wanted something to eat, so I ordered something, And the gentleman who dropped off my pizza, he was looking at me. Now, mind you, y'all know I like to look good. I had on rollers. I was looking not the best. He comes deliver my pizza. He said, "Oh my God, you are so gorgeous." I'm like, "Really, dude?"
Oh,
You know. And then 2 minutes later, he comes calling. Hi, I was that delivered your pizza. Maybe you and I could go on a date. He said, "Are you married?" I said, "No, I'm happily divorced." He's like, "Oh, that's new." Happily divorced? Well, maybe we could do lunch. I said, "No, sweetie. I appreciate the offer, but no. Steph,
so
I
now
wish you well."
what did he look like?
Who cares? He worked at
He
Domino's.
Ladies,
That's why Kim and I love. We are what, sister girls? Am I right?
I'm not going to date at that Rock and Roll McDonald's no more.
okay, all right. So Friday, January 29th, put it on your calendar. We're gonna talk about all of this because see, I looked at that so much different. I looked
I know
at
you did.
somebody see, and again, it could be my rose-colored glasses, it could be I don't know, but we're gonna talk it all out. We're gonna figure it out, ladies. I love you both. No more Rock and Roll McDonald's, no more pizza delivery men.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, as you guys all know, we are a health show. And with that being said, we must give you the latest COVID-19 update numbers. In late 2019, we found out about the coronavirus, which actually emerged in central China, Wuhan, China. To this very day, more than 21 million people in the U.S. have been confirmed with coronavirus infection, and more than 350,000 have died from COVID-19. Illinois health officials today said that our surge has now gone past 1 million cases here in the state of Illinois. We had 8,757 new and probable cases. Unfortunately, we had 177 additional deaths. And so this has now pushed our positive case numbers to over 1 million. And this is a tragic milestone, says the governor of the state of Illinois. And, people are still trying to get the vaccine. And I want to remind everyone, now, yesterday, all of that foolishness and mess was going on. And I kept saying on social media, I wonder what is Rona doing in all of this. I said, Rona is running around like Summer's Eve. She's skipping and hitting people and smacking people.
Right.
I said, Rona was having sex with everybody she could in there.
That's right.
Meanwhile, 4,000 people have died in the last 24 hours in the United States due to COVID. So we've got to be more careful, you guys. We really do. We've got to be more careful. So as you guys always know on this show, we remind you to wear a mask. Ladies, do you have your mask? My mask tonight says spread love, not germs. Spread love, not germs. Yes.
Mine says, Mine says thankful and blessed.
I like that. I do. Kim, okay, Renee, I like yours. A nice black mask. Very nice.
Actually, it's denim from Rock Innovation.
Oh, beautiful. Very nice. That's beautiful. All right. Remember, you guys, we need you to sanitize your hands. Soap and water is the best way to go. If you don't have soap and water, hand sanitizer. I'm forever sanitizing my hands. Put that sanitizer in those hands. And remember, we are sexy sanitizers on this show. Sexy sanitizers. And ladies, how we do it for our audience every night? How we do that? Rub them hands. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at oh Lord. Oh, look at that.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Today, the Oklahoma State Department of Health has started a scheduling portal for scheduling your vaccine.
Really?
Now you'll still be able. It is still going in the line of everything,
right?
You're 65, but you can go on, put your information in. I haven't done this yet.
Really?
And put your name in to get the vaccine. And I was just wondering if you, I guess, was based on what you all are saying, you don't have that
Girl,
in Illinois.
hell no. We right now they've just lowered the age for people I think 65 and over to be able to get
Okay.
it, because it's still a
Okay.
lot
Yes.
of people that have not gotten it. I know a few
Okay.
friends
Vaccinated,
of
right.
mine who are in rehab centers or nursing home facilities, they've gotten
Okay.
it. But as far as, you know, has the mass majority, or do we have anything that high tech? Oh no, I've not heard anything like that. But now that you said it, maybe they'll look into it.
Well,
But no,
you
we
know,
don't have anything.
Oklahoma is usually the last. Our unemployment system is 40 years old. So
Oh, I can
that,
imagine. Yeah,
yeah.
Ugh.
So
yeah.
okay. Well, that's what we have here, and people have been signing up and everything.
Okay. Yep. Absolutely. K Renee, what were you gonna say?
You know, when you talk about unemployment, we're gonna talk about that. When she said that word,
Yes. All right. So another thing, social distance. And if you're not
Yes.
feeling well, keep your
Stay
ass
your
in
ass
the
at
house.
home.
It's
home.
easy. It's simple. Keep your ass at home. Right now, it's easy for everybody to be at home. Ain't nobody gonna say anything. Chill out, relax, and get well. Feel better. Okay. Capiche,
Exactly.
capiche. All right,
Yes.
good. So speaking of unemployment, K Renee, you had a hellified situation earlier today. And kind of tell us, and when you told me about it, I said, darling, I've been hearing a lot of people who have had the same problem. A couple of famous people, even Kwame Raoul, Illinois State's attorney, Kwame Raoul had this to happen. What happened, K Renee?
Well, you know, despite the fact that we're having a postal service problem, and after I was calling the postal service for many umpteenth times, I get my mail in yesterday evening, and lo and behold, I have 3 letters from the Illinois Department of Employment Security. But it's not for me, addressed to me. It was addressed to my late mother. Now, all y'all know my mom has been dead for 10 years. And come to find out, somebody has been using my mother's name to obtain unemployment benefits. Now, after I calmed down, and y'all know when I get mad, I get real mad. I said, who in the hell would denigrate my mom to steal her identity? So not only I've contacted IDES, and now it's going to be probably a week late before they return my call. I've got to file a police report, in addition to probably file a complaint against the FTC. So JB Pritzker, Lieutenant Governor Julia Stratton, even Kwame, if y'all listening, you guys need to do something about this. This is just really, you know, I've been hearing about live people getting their identity stolen, but dead people? Really? Really?
No, look, I know of a case where somebody went and rented a full apartment off of somebody that was dead, and had gotten the people's information, did a little research. You got to realize there's a lot of slick ass hustlers out here, and people, you know what I'm saying? That's why you've got to be really careful about how much you give up, what you say, all of that kind of stuff, because it's a lot of slick ass people out here that will listen and figure out and put 2 and 2 together. And it's sad, but even Kwame Raoul had that to happen. And I've had even a couple of other friends who, these are people very popular on social media. They talk about what they do for a living, all of that. They had people that had filed cases under them as well too, and their employers came to them and said, you filed for unemployment? Right.
And the thing about the person who filed under my mom's name worked for Lyft. And this happened, I guess they were laid off in April of last year, because they just recently filed it as of December of 2020. I said, that's all right. I said, they messed with the wrong one, but that's okay.
Wow. Well, I'm so sorry that has happened to you. I don't know what
happened
to
to a
do,
lot of people.
but it does. We've been hearing more and more stories like that, and that's just sad. So, you know, we hope that all works out, and you know, you get that straightened out. But man, that's crazy. Kim, do you have anything else in the news? What about down there in Atlanta? You are close to the Warnock family, and so we didn't have a celebration about Georgia on this show yet.
Okay.
So let's talk about what happened in Georgia to refresh everybody's memory.
Raphael Warnock. Raphael graduated from Morehouse with my brother, and he was my girlfriend's pastor for a while, and so that's how I got to know him a little bit. I'm happy for Raphael. He beat Loeffler. I think it was by 0.08%, and there was a thinner margin for the Ossoff, who beat Purdue. So now you have the state of Georgia, which is blue now, which
Yes.
means that move, Mitch, get out the way, get out the way. He is no longer the Senate majority leader,
Yeah.
and now it will be
Mhm.
Chuck Schumer, who is the
Mhm.
senior senator from New York. So
Mhm.
get ready for your 2 stimulus checks. As my brothers say, they need to do a lot of stuff, get people out of jail,
That's right.
get our reparations, make weed legal,
Oh,
Mhm.
but they
and
need
Mhm.
to
you talked about
do
Moscow Mitch. His
yeah,
wife, the
yeah,
Secretary
Elaine
of
Chao,
Transportation, resigned. So they're gonna have some more
the
good time
China doll
together.
the China doll that Art always talks about.
Yes,
Right.
yes. I couldn't believe how beautiful she was. I was like, wait a minute, she married to Mitch McConnell? She beautiful,
Moscow Mitch.
but here's my deal. What the hell you resigning for and you got 2 more weeks on the job? Now see
Well,
what did you resigning for? You got
Well,
2 more
first of
damn weeks.
all,
but she's not the
well,
only one that resigned. I mean, heck, Mick Mulvaney, Matt Pottinger, Stephanie Grisham,
Mhm.
who was the chief of staff to Melania. Who else? Sarah Matthews, Ricky Nisita, and Paul Irvin. All these, they said we out of here. So what you know?
Well, they must make good
well,
money because, honey, I'm staying around for my last 2-week paycheck. They
well,
all must be paid well. I'm staying for my check.
Elaine Chao is her estimated worth is $215 million. I think her father was some kind of
She comes from money.
matter?
I heard she
Yeah,
came
she comes
from
from
money.
money.
I
She comes from
wondered
money.
if she came from the Skin Cream family because I'm telling you,
No.
her face is tight. Okay, I can see now. She probably had a little nippy tucky. Okay, go ahead.
From my understanding yesterday, as was reported yesterday today on the CNN show, when all of that stuff was going on in the Capitol, Donald Trump was cheering it on. He was saying how great it was. And people from other cabinet positions were hearing this and they were appalled. I guess the other stuff that he did didn't matter, but he was cheering what was going on in the Capitol. And he had to be pushed, Dana Bash said this, to make that weak statement that he made yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And for many people, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's more, hold on one second. It's more of, even though it's only 13 days away, it's more of a statement than anything.
Absolutely.
And I have no, even though they should have come out before, I have no problem with what they're doing. They should have done it before, but it's a statement. And everyone has shut him down. He can't tweet, he can't Instagram, and he can't Facebook.
Or YouTube.
So now wait,
YouTube.
there was a debate earlier that was he shut down on Twitter for just 12 hours or has he been shut down period on Twitter?
Well, whatever it is, he has not, from my understanding, it was 12 hours, but as of now, he has not tweeted at all.
Wow.
He has not tweeted because I check it all the time, and he has not tweeted.
They've locked his account. Okay, that's an indefinite. And I hope he needs. What happens? He's like a little boy, so you need to spank him, and the best way to spank him is to give him a lifetime ban, not just an indefinite ban, a lifetime ban. No tweeting, no Facebook, no YouTube, no TikTok, no Instagram. Nothing.
Well, as I stated on the show before, the account that he's using is the White House account. The account that he's using on Facebook is the White House account. So that will automatically change at 12 o'clock on the 20th. And it will go to Joe Biden. And more than likely, Joe Biden will not be tweeting. It will be an aide of his that will be tweeting and Facebooking.
Absolutely.
Right. So they can't just take that down. He'll have to create his own, just like Obama and Michelle have their own, even the first lady. She won't have access to that anymore. So, those are official accounts.
But now keep in mind, this man already had a presence on social media before he became the president.
It's under Donald J. Trump. He has his own Twitter account, not just the White House. He has his own, and that needs to be shut down. But I want to add to your point, Kim. Not only has everybody, the cabinet just said, F you. Think about Mike Pence. We think about the fly during the debate. That's the one person who really was loyal.
Okay, Renee, did we lose you?
I'm here.
I can hear her.
I couldn't. I lost her, but okay, go ahead.
One thing I would say, the one person who really was loyal to him without a fault is Mike Pence. And now he threw him to the wolves when he was at the Capitol. He kept forcing him to tell Congress, I want you to do whatever you can to reaffirm that I was president. And then he threw him to the wolves. He knew what he was doing. And so even as of today, CNN had reported that Mike has not even spoken to him. He's at his residence. He's doing his thing. So, it's just really, he's going to be a man without a country very soon.
What did Maya Angelou say? What did Maya Angelou say?
When someone shows you who they really are, believe them
the first time. He has been doing this to everyone. Why would Mike Pence be shocked and amazed? He has thrown everyone under the bus. Everyone. He would throw his own kids under the bus.
Yes, he would.
So why is Mike Pence so upset now?
Well, with that being said, ladies, I'm going to need more than some hot tea when I get off the air tonight. I had to have me a little sip of wine last night before I went to bed, too, because again, 8 months ago is when we had all the looting and rioting here in Chicago, and we were all just devastated, blown away. The imagery that we saw, the just everything, and again, we demoralized our own, criticized, did all of that. Yes, we're all guilty of it. We all are. But yesterday was a come up. It really was a come up because it allowed the world to see that, there are people that look like Anglo-Saxon or whatever, that act a fool and clown and show their ass. And then here's the deal. Disrespect our government.
I look forward to waking up on January 22nd or 3rd and hearing about the stock market and the weather, maybe what Kim Kardashian is doing.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. And then go about my day.
Right.
And then just tiptoe through the tulips.
Yep.
I cannot wait.
No, because Kim,
I cannot wait.
You know what? We have not had that more. I'm like you. I'm the same person. I love getting up to beautiful, pleasant news. And you're right. When was the last time we woke up to just beautiful, pleasant, hey, the weather's going to be great today. These puppies were found in a basket yesterday. We're going to be making cinnamon bread the next segment. It has been one hot ass mess.
The last time that happened was January 20th, 2016.
Right.
That's the last time. It was some civility. So hopefully January 20th at 12:01 or 12 noon at 10 seconds, there will be civility that will be returned back.
Yes.
To the White House.
All right, ladies. Well, it's time for us to move on. As you guys all know, this entire month of January, my goal is to help everybody to find their boo thing. I have a big virtual relationship chat coming up Friday, January 29th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Get your beverage, gussy yourself up. Put on your comfortable outfit. It's all going to be done remotely, and we are going to have some fun. I believe that people need to learn how to communicate better with each other. And now that we're in this pandemic, now more than ever is a great time to start an online relationship, start writing letters, getting to know people a little bit better, because you can't take your ass nowhere on no date. You cannot. Kim is sick and tired of the rock and roll McDonald's. Ms. K. Renee does not want the delivery person. And until you have a COVID test, or I know you've been COVID tested, you will not be coming over to see me. How about that? How about that? So tonight, to help us to understand our love language better, is a gentleman who I have a lot of respect for. He's a author, a wonderful author of just great books about love, life, relationship. He's a very transparent man. He's a decorated military man, all around great guy. I really do consider him my brother from another mother. But every time he's here, we always have a great time. And tonight he's here to talk to us about our love language. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, our good friend, Mr. Leon Walker. Yay!
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 What's happening, brother? How are you tonight?
I'm good. All right, how y'all doing? Can y'all see me pretty good?
We
Yes.
can a little bit better. We got you in a box now. Go. How you doing, Leon? What's happening? Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year to you all. I'm doing good. Doing my writing, staying safe, staying out of the way, because this COVID is like a monster. It's just attacking everybody. But I'm good. How y'all doing?
We're good.
Good. We making it. Like you said, staying in, trying to do the right thing. Keep out of harm's way. And that's what it is. Now, Leon, I was telling you on the phone last week that I'm trying to help as many people, male and female, to find their true mate or their boo thing. With this pandemic going on, online dating, getting to know people at a slower pace is really the way to go right now. It's not as if you can go to a gym or to a movie theater, a restaurant, any of these things. But I think the biggest problem is, Leon, a lot of people don't have love language skills.
Right. And, getting to know people, we use that term loosely. And that's a lot of the problem we have in relationships. I had that problem for many, many years. And I always tell you this, embarrassingly enough, to say that I slept with a lot of women. And talking about love languages, had a woman ask me what my love language was about 10 years ago, I'd have been like, what? You cute, you sexy, you want to make love? I didn't know. I had no clue. And I was in my 40s. I had no clue. And so meeting people, getting to know people, we do it the wrong way. For instance, we meet a guy or gal and you say he's tall, he's in shape, he's got a nice house, nice car. But a lot of women don't ask. I've never been asked what my love languages are. Never. And I was in them. I was using them. But I was thinking that it's something I get from my parents, of course. But I didn't know what I was doing. I'm a provider. I'm a protector. I'm a giver. That's what I do. And so that was one of my love languages. I like to touch. I like to communicate. So I had them. I just didn't know why I was using them. But I knew why I was using them to manipulate women. That's one reason why I was using them. But I wasn't using them in the right way because I wasn't aware that, there were any love languages. And I learned this maybe 10 years ago. So when we meet people the right way, we have to do it the right way. We have to communicate. We have to ask the hard questions. I want you to ask about my past, because I'm going to tell you. I want to ask about your past, because a lot of our childhood comes back when we become adults.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So just so you guys know, I kind of talked to Leon last week. He and I have been working on this segment. Let me kind of give you guys another definition of what love language is as well, too. Great job on that, Leon. Love language is words of affirmation, and it is actions of affirmation. So it is, like Leon said, wanting to touch, hug, do the right things. But see, now, Leon, I talked to a couple of women about this. You have what's considered the affection love language, when most women, and ladies, if I'm wrong, help me with this, feel as if men don't have the affirmation love language. I love you, baby. I appreciate you. You coming in, sweetheart. You look good today. All of those kind of things. It is said that most men don't have that language until they in the bed with you.
Yeah,
ladies,
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think it starts out like that, and then it stops after a certain amount of time. Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
A lot of times happens with that love language in the bed, saying I love you. For me, when I was molested and raped, I was always told to be quiet, right? And I didn't understand it. I was 50. I went to therapy for 7 months. So when it came to love making, being in the bed, I was quiet. There were a lot of women that had to, sadly enough, to say, Leon, did you enjoy yourself? Because I was quiet, because I never rectified my childhood issues of my cousins telling me to be quiet before they molested me, or my babysitter telling me to shh before she raped me, or my uncle telling me to don't tell nobody I'm touching you. So I never processed that. And in being in making love or having sex, whatever, I was always quiet. I could perform and touch, but I was quiet, and I didn't know why. I went through therapy at 50 years old.
Wow.
I
Good for
had this
you.
I had this
Wow.
conversation with a friend of mine that was saying that black men have a hard time expressing themselves in a loving manner due
Mhm.
to a lot of things. Think about when a young boy is a young boy. Don't you cry. I'll whoop you. Be a man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Mm-hmm.
same way with
Mhm.
you, Leon, being
Mm-hmm.
sexually molested and being told, don't you say nothing, don't you say nothing. And as you said, this manifests into adulthood. And
Mm-hmm.
what a lot of people don't understand, women are taught, I love you. I want to hear you say you love me. Even if you listen to our music, women are always begging and pleading to hear the word love, where men have always been taught to express it through their actions.
Right. My father was.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My father was the same way, right? His father. So what was passed down to me? You talking 80, 90 years ago? It still affected me when I was born up until a few years ago. My
Mm-hmm.
father's father, my grandfather, never met him, but he never told my father he loved him. He showed him, bought him
Mm-hmm.
cars, paid the bills, they had food. So my father was the exact same way. I love that. He never told me he loved me, but we had a home. After it
Mm-hmm.
was broken, we had food. There were times where we didn't have any clothes until my father got custody. We had clothes. My mother did the best she could, but it was always show love. And so, guess what? I did the same thing with my kids. They had the PS5s, they had
Mm-hmm.
shoes, they had food. I didn't start telling them I loved them until I learned how to say it through my ex-wife, which she was told that as a young girl. I was never told that. I was shown love. So my thing was, I'm gonna show you that I love you by the bills are being paid, showing up to your football games, the baseball games, coming to the PTA meetings. But hearing the word "I love you" is much different than showing somebody. Some people don't like material things. People are okay with getting a bag of chips and being full, but they still need to hear that "I love you." I didn't know how to say that. I know how to say it now.
You
Mm-mm.
know that's very you see that. I don't know if you saw the movie Fences, and there's a scene in there with Denzel and the young man that plays his son, and he says, "Dad, do you like me?" And Denzel goes through this whole thing. Do you have a roof over here? Do you have food on your
Right.
food? Do you have clothes? Do you know why? And he says, "Why? It's not because I like you." He says, "Because it's my responsibility." And even though he loved
Right.
his son, he never told him. He just said that you are my responsibility. So that kind of goes hand in hand with what you said.
Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know how to say "I love you" in my relationships. I was afraid to say it because now another thing that ties into abandonment issues. That ties into being emotionally detached. When I lost my mother, I tell people I lost my mother 3 times. When we lost our house, when she started back, and when she died. And so me telling the woman that I love her, I felt like she would leave me. So I didn't want to tell her that because I don't want to hurt myself, knowing thinking that I'm going to do something wrong to make her leave me. So if I tell her I love her, I'm going to start believing that. And then she leave me, I'm hurt. So I was afraid because the childhood issue I had of my mother leaving me and abandonment issue and being emotionally detached. I was afraid to love somebody. I could like the hell out of you, but I was afraid to love and give my whole heart because I was afraid of being hurt.
Wow, that's interesting. That's something rare that you hear a man say. Miss K Renee, I know Raquel, she done kind of creeped out there a little bit. Your mind is blown, first of all, about what happened to him in the past. But as a single woman, and this would be a possible suitor, where are you with all of this and what he said? I feel he's been very honest, but then I know you are very leery about a lot of things. Where are you at with this?
No, you know what's interesting, Art, had he shared this and we met years ago, I don't know if I handled it, but I've gone through somewhat what he's been through because I was married to someone who was sexually molested. And everything that Leon is saying, I've gone through that with my ex-husband. So now hearing his reasoning or why things manifest, I wish that could have happened in my marriage with my ex. I could appreciate and definitely just really thank Leon for his authenticity because that's really a lot of men do not like to say they love you. They'll only say it when it comes to making love or when they hit that peak, but they won't express it or show action when the woman really needs a man for emotional support. So I hear everything that Leon is saying. It kind of just reminded me back to my relationship with my ex-husband because there's a lot of parallels there. A lot of parallels.
Kim, what do you feel about what has been said so far?
I think when I was engaged a few years ago, and my ex was very mentally abusive. And the reason being is because his father was very mentally abusive to him. And, that came into our relationship. So I don't think he was sexually molested, but I think that because he had never dealt with the abuse that he was given to him as a child and always having to gain the affection of his dad, he never really knew how to give affection. And I think that goes into a lot of men, but especially our men. And so I think that what he's saying is on point.
And what I thank God I wrote my first book in 2016. I don't think had I not written a book, I wouldn't have done the research on my parents or myself. But what I found out is that I always used my childhood as a reason to have an excuse to cheat and have an excuse to be with a lot of women, because I was like, well, I was molested and raped, so the women did it to me, so I'm gonna hurt these women. Well, after doing a lot of research and therapy and studying, that's why I like what I like to ask people to do. I talk about this all the time. Study your parents, right? Right or wrong, you don't like them, you don't know them, whatever. Study them, get to know them. They have great traits. What I found out was that I had a very monogamous heart, but I had a promiscuous mind. My father was not. After studying my father, I can count, and my parents got divorced in 1979. We moved my father in 1980, 81. I can count on one hand, and probably 4 women that I've ever seen my father with in my lifetime. And that's not saying that he didn't have any women, but I want to say that other women. But I knew the women well. There was only 4 women that I knew that my father actually had a relationship with after my mother. And so my father died in 1999. And I look back on it and I say, you know what? I've been with hundreds of women. Why am I like this? Because I didn't understand my childhood. I didn't understand my father. I didn't study my father. But I was a victim of being exposed or being influenced by the military. That's no excuse. I was still using that to date these women, and I want all these exotic women. So I'm like, we're going overseas. We're going to Japan. We're going to Thailand. We're going to Philippine Islands. I'm supposed to be out here in these streets with these women. But I was heavily influenced. I had a weak mind when it came to that. But I had a monogamous heart, and for a long time I stayed with that. But then I go to the military, and I'm exposed to all these women, and I'm influenced by all these older men or younger men to be popular and have all these women, to be popular and drinking all night. But my heart was monogamous. My mind was promiscuous because I allowed it to be.
All right. Well, with that being said, some of the tips that we want to share tonight, especially with our children being home now more than ever during this pandemic, love language with our children is super important. So for those of you all that are parents, whether you're a single parent, husband, wife, same-sex couple raising children, whatever the case may be, start instilling affirmations of love into your child now. Speak love language into your child. When they're an infant, you tell them how much you love them. When they get to be of age, reassure them, reward them handsomely. If they draw artwork, put it up, talk about it, get them some type of keepsake or bracelet that you say that you love them so that they have and can cherish that. Spend time with your child, find a hobby or something to do with your child so you and your child will have a common bond. Like Leon and many of us have said, people come from situations where if I put, a roof over your head, food on the table, all of that, then isn't that enough? No, it is love that is needed. And it really does start in childhood. So for those of you all that are parents, uncles, aunts, whatever, instill into your children how much they truly are loved and will be loved. So that's the first part. Now, let's get back to this. Leon, thank you so much, my friend. You always are so open and honest and really share a lot. Ladies, you both, anything else before we move on with Leon? Any other questions you have for him right now?
Nope.
The one thing that you said about when parents have keepsakes for their children, this is one I have on my mom. She's been gone, and this is, I don't know if you can see it. It's an original cross that she received many years ago, and it's very special to me. It's a one-of-a-kind piece. So, she'd always said to me, she said, if I go, you can have it. And it was funny, after she died, I didn't know where it was, and I finally found it, and I said, I'm not taking this off. So that, to me, that just brought brought something very home what you said, because that makes such a difference.
Mm-hmm. Leon, let me ask you this. For men who want to make a difference in their life, for somebody like you, a well-decorated military man, well-traveled, have enjoyed, yourself around the world. What now more than ever, with the way the world is changing, what are some of the steps that men can take to better learn to talk to these women out here? These women would love to be talked to. And what are some of the steps you would recommend?
First thing is being honest. Women like a man that's honest. I don't care what you being honest about, what you got. You have to be open and honest. And I call this presenting my past. And one friend was like, "Man, why are you gonna tell her that, man?" No, because I need to tell her that this is what I was addicted to porn. I was addicted to drinking. I was addicted to smoking cigarettes and cigars. This is my past. So if I can open up about my past, that makes her more open to listening to me and trusting me. Trust starts with honesty, as far as honesty starting with me communicating with her about my dirty secrets. They're going to come out eventually. I don't want to hide anything. I got tired. I got tired of hiding things. I got tired of living a lie. I got tired of being fake. So my thing is, you got to be open and honest. When you're meeting somebody, people are like, well, you shouldn't talk about certain things on the first day. Well, when do you talk about those things? I'm a type of dude, I'm coming straight out the gate. I'm going to be real honest, because you're going to know right there if you want to be with me or not. Women know when they see a man, well, yeah, they can say, you know what, I'd like to sleep with him one day. They already know. Man, we think we can talk a woman out of her underwear. We can't. Her mind is made up based on the conversation, when you talk to her, when you set a date, when you meet her, how you conduct yourself. Her mind is already made up. It may take a week. It may take a few months. But the more honest you are, you have to allow women to make this decision themselves and not make that decision for them. I had a bad habit of lying and making decisions for her and saying, and women would tell me, "Leon, all you had to do was tell me the truth." I didn't know how to tell the truth. I wanted to lie to you to make sure I didn't lose you, because I was afraid of abandonment, not knowing all too well that if you're honest with the woman, she's going to listen to you. Women are nurturing. Women are very nurturing. They want to help you. They want to rebuild you. So a lot of women will say, "Okay, I understand you got this problem. At least you told me. Let's work on this. I can help you get to the next level." Because men are nurturing too, but we're always told that women are the nurturers of the family. So be open, be honest, communicate, listen to what she wants, needs, and desires. She's going to do it for you. You have to listen to a woman, and understand where she's going, what she like, what doesn't she like, what are the little idiosyncrasies that drive her crazy. So being open, being honest, and being a great listener. Don't go into a relationship, don't go into a conversation having sex on your mind. I did that all the time, and then eventually you start leaning towards a conversation. So that's disrespectful. Women think like, "Hey, I want you to stimulate my mind." She's not going to tell you that. But women want their mind stimulated. It could be about anything, but don't be so shallow as to talk about sex, your house, your cars, material things. And we'll talk about the high value man too. This thing they're talking about now, but women want the basic things in life. They want first of all, they want a real guy, a real man that's going to support them, a man that's going to listen to them, a man that's going to be honest and tell her the truth. If it's the smallest thing, because when you lie, you got to remember that lie. It's hard to remember lies. They change.
Can I ask a question? You're familiar with the gentleman. His name is Derek Jackson.
Yeah.
He has a high following on Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
He said something about a year last year that really resonated with me. He said that if a woman has standards, if she's not willing to put up with a lot of stuff, more than likely, she is going to spend the majority of her life alone. Do you agree with that?
No, what she'll see. No, I like Derek Jackson. I respect him. Very sharp dude. What she'll do is if she's maintaining who she is and where she is, she'll start weeding out the guys that can't level up. She'll attract the guys that are attracted to her and understand where she's at.
So do you think that there are enough? Because I have to tell you, and Art mentioned this a few weeks ago. I have a lot of friends that have it going on, and I mean going on. Mm-hmm. And they're smart, they're educated, they're self-sufficient. They have their own homes, own cars. They are not crazy, most of them, and they're single. And they're getting ready to get into the age where the possibility of having kids is not going to be viable. And I mean, I can at least think of 10 girlfriends.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like this, at least.
So here's the type of women, and I know this to be true. Those women want to share everything they have, right? They just don't want to lose things. They don't want to waste time, right? If you see a man that sees a woman that has all of that, there's a good chance that he may want to go into that relationship and not do anything else to enhance her. She can have a PhD, she can have a house, a car, a 800 credit score, and be unhappy, like you said. But all she wants is somebody to share it with, but she's not going to just give it up because she worked her butt off for 10, 15, 20 years to get to that point. She can get with somebody that's going to maintain her at that same level, but make her feel good about what she is, who she is. Because a lot of times we compliment women about their looks, their breasts, their butt, but I want to compliment her about some things she don't even know that she has, right? She could be teaching me something. I'm a compliment her. Hey, thank you, baby. You taught me that. I didn't know. You know, I can compliment her on the way she walks, her smile, some things that a lot of women never even hear. I compliment her and say, hey, you know what? I saw that trait in your mother because I know your mother, and I appreciate that because you carry it well. I can compliment her on how she makes me think differently. You know, I don't want to be an average or mediocre thinker, but I want a woman that's going to give me something as well as I'm giving her something. So all that material stuff, they know when a woman goes to school for 15, 20 years, she's got a PhD, she knows she's got that. They know what it takes to get a degree. They know what it takes to get a car. You can have a credit score of 600 to get a car. You can have a credit score of 650 to get a house. They got that stuff, right? So they know those things. Getting those things are easy. What else can you do for her? And it's not even about materialistic things. It's not. Can you listen to her? Can you hold a conversation? Can you stimulate her mind? Can you teach her different things? Can you do things that she's never done before? Like instead of going to the restaurant all the time or going shopping all the time, let's go feed the ducks. I've never done that before. It's a lot of these women that are high value women that are very educated and have all these things. A lot of times they haven't done a lot of the small things that they want to do that makes them happy because they've been in school for 15 years. Then they go to residency. Then they go to internship. Now they working. Now they got a house. Now they got a car. And they're around the same girlfriends that have the same thing and the same mindset. They want somebody to make them think differently. That's all it is. I can talk to a lot of women about going around the world, meeting different people, different cultures. I can talk all day about that stuff, a lot of different things. I'm just a simple dude, but I'm very worldly, and I'm the type of guy that I want to share those experiences with a woman. So these women that are high value, they just want somebody to come in with something different and not be impressed by their status or not be intimidated by their status. A lot of men meet these women and like, oh, you got a degree, I need to get a degree. Or you got a house, I need to get a bigger house. Or you got a Benz, I need to get a Range Rover. They trying to compete with these women now. She's established, bro.
I couldn't agree with you more. I look, I know a lot of women that are in this situation, and most of the gentlemen who they have gotten with learn to deal with the situation that has been at hand, and they've all been just great husbands. But you're right, a lot of people try to outdo each other in these relationships, and if you actually come in and do the right things, you can enjoy the fat of the land too. But a lot of these guys, and I'm not trying to male bash, will come in and just try to be lazy and lay up and not want to do what they need to do. And you know what you're there for. You know what you're there for. You just ain't there to eat the extra food. It's a lot of other things that need to happen. Ladies, agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Agree.
Agree. It's you know, it's for me, it's easier said than done. And you know, I know I'm a movie and TV girl, so forgive me. But there's a show out called Queen Sugar, and one of the people on the show is Nola, and Nola met this gentleman who was educated, didn't have a lot of kids, had a job, and she was around all her girlfriends who were educated and everything, and they say to her, "You didn't tell me you met a unicorn." A unicorn. And what they meant was a brother who's had it going on, didn't have a lot of drama going on. Right. He was educated. He had a PhD, but I mean, he could have still been a gentleman with a high school diploma, I think. But it was just someone that seemed to have some good sense. And so that's a thing that people are saying, that if you find a man like that, that's a unicorn.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but we're being honest.
You know, a lot of times women that are let's say high value, right? They meet or attract men that are high value, and they're all interested in the same thing. They can't bring much to each other. They both doctors. They both have big houses, great credit scores, big cars, a huge network, but they're unhappy because they spent the same time in school. They spent the same time working. And now here we are, we're married. You know, we got the traditional marriage because this is what our parents wanted. My parents wanted me to meet a guy that was a doctor or a woman that was a doctor. And then they become unhappy, right? And so it's like now you're at a standstill. So what do? Well, we just stay married. Now we're gonna stay married for the kids, right? And then the kids see that you're not happy. The kids see that you're not intimate with each other. You're not holding hands. You're not cooking together in the kitchen. The kids see that. So a lot of times the people that attract like-minded people, or I'm not saying that people have the same profession can't be happy. They can, but a lot of times there's a disparity in understanding each other and communicating and talking about things outside of what they've been doing the last 15, 20 years.
Yes, very good. All right. Well, as before, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Thursday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. It is Relationship Thursday, and right now we're having a very interesting conversation about increasing your love language. It is 2021, and we're trying to help as many people as possible to just kind of talk to somebody this year. It's not about going out on a physical date. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So where you going? Most places are closed. So you now have more time on your hands than ever to get online, to stick your toe in the online dating pool, maybe write a love letter, maybe reach out to somebody from the past and see how they doing. Long story short, you can increase your chances of meeting somebody by just communicating. And so here tonight to help us to understand our love languages is Mr. Leon Walker, author, all around great guy, self-proclaimed relationship guru. And I'm giving him that because he does do a good job. Everyday brother, giving solid advice. Leon's been here with us many times before. My two beautiful co-hosts, the one and only Miss Kim, Sister Girl Speaks, yay, and Kay Renee of Karen's Nuggets, yay. And so we've been talking about a lot of different things, and I stopped the conversation to kind of give you guys a few tips that you can do that if you do have a partner, this will help you and your partner, because a lot of relationships are strained right now. People that were out having affairs, they ain't doing that no more. So if that was keeping the marriage alive and all of that, that ain't happening. So now you stuck in the house with this person and you two have got to get along. The divorce rate is steady climbing during this pandemic. So things that you can do to communicate better with your partner, if you have a boo thing, is send them a letter in the mail. Write an old-fashioned letter, mail it. Here's the deal. With the way the post office is right now, if you write a Valentine's Day letter this weekend, it may get to them by Valentine's Day.
Got that right.
I'm still getting Christmas cards that's marked December 10th.
Right.
So I just want to tell y'all, right. Okay. So the next in that letter, tell your partner how much you appreciate them, how much you really appreciate them. Another thing, leave a sticky note on the bathroom mirror in the morning to say to your mate, I love you. I appreciate you. Can't wait to see you later, or see you in the den in a few minutes, whatever it is. And then here's the deal. If you are in a healthy, loving relationship, do something nice. Post about your mate on social media. You don't have to put a picture of them up there, but just say, my mate is so good. My mate is so sweet. All of that. A lot of y'all out here, oh, I got a man, but you steady showing yourselves naked. You steady talking under your clothes, all of that. And then talking about, I need a man now. Well, you lost your man because you shared too much on social media.
That's true.
You did.
That's true.
Okay, loving things on social media about your mate, not bragging that you got one, but that my mate cooked me dinner last night. My mate bought me chocolates, whatever the case may be. Edify them, not vilify them. Okay, yes, Leon.
I think things. What you just talked about, women posting themselves on Facebook or whatever, pictures and stuff. A lot of women are told that are 5 at best in looks, or if they're told they're 10, it's because of their body and their looks, right? But women have to understand, and a lot of women, when they're told that, it crushes their soul, it hurts their feeling. They start believing that. What I said, I posted the other day that there are other things that you could be a 10 in. You could be a 10 in your drive. You could be a 10 in your personality. You could be a 10 in your determination. You could be a 10 in help me take care of my kids. You could be a 10 in preparing my lunch for work. You could be a 10 and bringing me some Gatorade at the gym. We can do this for each other. But there are other things that you could be a 10, and it's not just always about your looks and your body. And a lot of women fall into that trap. And when they've been told it all their life, well, you're pretty or you're gorgeous, you got a body. That's all they tend to reside in, is the physical aspects of their soul or their nature. Whereas they have other things that they can be a 10 in. You don't have to wait on a man to to rate you on a 1 to 10. You shouldn't even accept that unless he's real genuine and honest about it. But it has to be about something else that you have. Maybe something that you don't even know about. It could be, I like your forehead. I like your earlobes. I like your crooked smile. But there are other things that women could be a 10 in, and not just their face and their body.
That's a very good point. That's very good
because fade looks will fade. I mean, as you get older, if you have, an illness, and I mean, to your point, Leon, women are always told that you're pretty and you're cute. What happens when that fades? Then what? So you have to have something within you that you are a 10, because you're right, everyone is a 10 in something. So I definitely concur with that.
Yeah, everybody's got 10. I was in San Diego years ago, and I was dating this woman, and a friend of mine, we were real tight. He was always joking, but we were real honest with each other. And I said, man, I want you to meet my girl. And when I introduced him, he embarrassed me. He's like, man, she ugly as hell. Why you date that girl? Oh yeah. But what happened to me at that point, I didn't get mad at him. I found out that I looked at her. I didn't even see what he saw. I was in love with her personality. And so I said, you know what? I got something else in me that I'm not even paying attention to, because I saw women with nice bodies and pretty face. I was in California, so you see them everywhere.
Right.
For some reason, their looks and their body didn't pull me in. But when I found this woman, or when I met her, her personality pulled me in. When he said that to her, it hurt her too. We didn't argue, fight about it, but I never saw what he saw. I saw her personality, and that was the beauty for me.
That's great. That's great.
That's good.
So have beautiful personalities, but they're not told that enough. They talk about the house that she has, the job she has. She's a CEO, she's a OBGYN, or whatever the case may be. I like your nice Mercedes Benz. A lot of those women are not happy with those material things, but they're not told about the other traits that they have. A lot of women think differently. They can teach men how to hug, how to hold hands. They can teach men chivalry. There's times where I was really bad at this. I can set up a nice weekend in Chicago. We're gonna get down. I got it. I'm really good at itineraries, and I'm bragging. But we parked the car. I get out. I'm running to the restaurant. She's like, "Yeah." I didn't open the door. I didn't take a coat off. I didn't take a hat off. I didn't hang it up. I didn't go get a coat. We eating good. I'm social. I'm the big butterfly. And she's sitting there like, wonderful night. I had a great time, but you were very disrespectful. I'm like, what you talking about? Yeah, I set this weekend up, blah, blah, blah. My chivalry was off. Way off. And so that overrode the itinerary that I had for the whole weekend. You talking about in the city of Chicago. I'm like, this ungrateful. And I'm like, dude, you were wrong, man. You didn't open a door. You didn't grab a coat. Right. We try to cross the street. I take off running. I'm looking back. I'm like, what you waiting on? She's like, Leon, you need some help. And then I want to get offended, right? I'm mad. But my chivalry was shot.
Oh my God. That is crazy. Hold on 1 second.
We lost Kim.
We back. I know she back. Okay.
Hey, you back.
Look, we know how this modern technology work. We know how it work. Wow. Well, all right. Well, Leon, let's talk about your new book and what inspired you to write the new book. Go right ahead.
So I think I was in September on my sister's birthday, September 13th. I was right here at home, and I I get a lot of stuff from God, osmosis or whatever, however I get it. But I said, somebody called me and say, hey, man, you know what? They start asking me questions about relationships. I'm like, you know what? Let me just write a book on this stuff. So I wrote the book in a month. And the more I wrote, the more I thought about my past and how I was living in relationships and how I was promiscuous and how I wasn't living through my father's legacy of being monogamous and how I wasn't being nurturing and understanding like my mother and how I wasn't being strong and confident in being in my marriage like my brothers, you know? And so I started writing the book, and I just started feeling, you know, better and better and better about a man and myself in a relationship, about me as a man in a relationship. And I'm like, wow. So I finished one chapter and it was just flowing. I didn't even, you know, sometimes when you write a book, you do the outline and all this stuff. I didn't even do that. I just started typing and I came up with 300 pages and I reread it. And then I wrote 20 poems 2 years ago and was like, hey, let me add these poems to this. And crazy part about it, I wrote the poems 2 years ago, but when I put them in the book, they're relevant to what the book was about. I didn't even plan it that way. So each poem, it's about 20 poems. They relate to each chapter. For instance, I got a poem about buying a car. Some men, I was one of them, on a birthday, Valentine's Day, whatever. I'm not going to spend time buying a car. I'm going to go to the gas station and get a quick one off the bottom shelf with all the dust on it and sign it and give it to her. But you have to take the time to put thought into a card, a nice card. You know, we don't think about that. You know, I wrote a poem about a C-section, stretch marks, where men, whether you with the woman or not, most of us have kids, and then we get mad when she got stretch marks, or we don't want to kiss her belly button or her navel because she got a C-section scar on there. You know, I wrote a poem about that. You know, so I wrote a lot of poems about a whole bunch of stuff that relates to the book. So, and inside the book also, I have about 100 pearls of wisdom, little things you do for your woman. Learn how to paint her nails. When you're out in the club with her and you introduce her to your friends or your female friends, kiss her in the mouth in front of those women. That's gonna make a statement. Listen to her. Don't overtalk him. Don't overtalk her. You know, it's little things like that. Don't be afraid to kiss your woman's butt, right? Switch the chores up in the house. Don't expect her to wash the dishes. Don't expect her to take out all that type of stuff. You know, little things you do, like leaving a note on the toilet paper, on the mirror. You know, coming up to a job, dropping off some flowers and leaving. Knowing what kind of men get this wrong. This gets me hot. Don't buy that Sara Lee's, whatever, that Lee's chocolate. Don't buy the wrong chocolate for Valentine's Day. Don't buy the wrong chocolate at any given time. Put some time and effort in getting some real Godiva chocolate or Lindt chocolate, right? A lot of times we just get stuff just to appease her, but it's the wrong thing. Know her size in her clothes. Know her shoe size. Know what type of lipstick she likes. Get her some MAC. Don't just get her any type of foundation from any type of store. You know, compliment her on the streaks that she put in there. A lot of women get streaks and they come home and like, he don't say nothing. You know, never ask a woman how much she weighs. Don't ever do that. But if she's losing weight, let her know, baby, you look different. I like that. You know, let me go get you a pair of pants or a skirt. Little things like that. Little pearls of wisdom I put throughout the book. Things that I knew or things that I didn't know, things that I was taught that I'm trying to share with these men. It's just little things you do, you know. Stop arguing. Don't yell. Listen to her. You know, let her talk. Don't try to think that you always got to be the man of the house. Sometimes you got to take a back seat. And I tell the women, sometimes you got to lead in the household. We don't like to lead all the time. You know, men don't like to lead all the time. We don't. We get tired of. But yeah, so I put a real life situation in my relationship book because I was cocky and arrogant for a long time. And I told my girlfriend in 1991, we're deploying in February. We're going to Japan for 3 months. We're going overseas. I told her, I woke up that morning, I'm like, I'm going to cheat on you. I don't like you. Yeah, I went straight. But you know what? When you're in a good relationship with a good woman and you leave her first, you're not going to have the strength to recover. She'll get the strength. She's going to hurt. She's going to cry, but she's going to recover before you do. And that's what happened. We came back 3 months later. She had a boyfriend. I lost my mind. And so I stalked her for a while. I didn't stalk her to hurt her. I stalked her because I wanted answers why she left me. And she told me, you told me you was going to cheat on me. You told me you was going to leave me. You told me you didn't love me. So she got a guy that loved her. And to this day, I don't call people this, but that dude, back then I said, man, he ugly as hell. But he was holding her hand. He was whispering in her ear. He was buying her candy. He was giving her thoughtful cards. I wasn't my little arrogant, but I wasn't doing none of that. I'm like, I'm good looking. I got a body. I don't need to do nothing. I don't even do no more than what you get is what you get from me. That's it. Be happy. I'm paying the bills. I'm taking you out. But I wasn't intimate with her. I wasn't kissing her. I wasn't hugging her. I wasn't getting her nice cards. You know, I wasn't buying her chocolate on a day just because. It don't have to be Valentine's Day if you get chocolate. Baby, I got you some chocolate.
Right.
You know you like chocolate or you like peppermints. You
That's
know,
right.
So yeah, I got my heart crushed. That was the best thing that happened to me to put me on the right track.
You know what, Leon?
Turned me into a monster,
Mhm.
but I had to go through that to reflect. And she called me last week. I hadn't talked to her in 10 years. And we talked last week. She's married now, but when we talked, I heard her soothing voice from 15 years ago.
Wow.
I still like
See that? See
Watch
that?
it now. Watch it now.
Right.
No, don't
All
be
right,
a don't be a whole record now. But I love everything
That's
that you
right.
said. I really loved everything
my
you said. And
goodness.
it sounds really good. I don't, I'm just being honest. I don't think a lot of men will do that. I'm not down on love. I'm not, trying to be a hater or anything like that. It's just the dynamics of everything. Now I'm online dating, and the dynamics of everything now is so different than it was in the 1800s when I was dating before. I mean,
So silly.
men, I'm serious. They used to come to your house in a horse and carriage and take you, to the diner. But now men expect you to do, I was talking to a gentleman last week. We have been talking online and everything. And then he said, well, instead of being on this site, why don't we get on Facebook? Okay, why don't we be Facebook friends? So I was Facebook friends. So then I get to be his friend. He doesn't say anything. So then last night he sends me some kind of emoji or something of a hug, someone hugging. So I said, well, I'm glad that you finally said hello. And then he said, okay, well, here's my number. Text me. This is my work schedule. I said, oh, no. Miss Kim don't call people. But I mean, back in the day, that would have never happened. It would have never happened.
Well,
You gonna give me your text to call you? No, I don't. And maybe it's my age. Like I said, I haven't been dating since the 1800s, so I don't know.
No, you got to remember, he had a father too, right? He may not have been shown or trained. I don't care if a man is 55 years old. If he don't know, he don't know, right? But you women are like, right? We should know at that age, right? But he has to want to get help and learn. First of all, he has to want to better himself for you. If he don't want to better himself for you, he ain't good from himself and nobody else. Don't waste your time with that type of situation.
But Leah, I don't think that he doesn't know. I think that he understands the pool of women out here is greater for him, so he doesn't have to do that work. I think that's
right.
That's how these men will come at me online, and then that's it. Then they expect me to do all the work, and that's black and white men.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, how you doing? And then silence. You experienced this too, right, Kay? It wasn't like this back in the day.
And
it wasn't like this back in the day.
That's the reason why I have 3-day rule. I'm like, I love consistency. And to your point, Leon, it's never the big things that a man does for me. It's always the little things. And I noticed that. And I always appreciate. But one thing it's a deal breaker. I'm consistent. If I don't hear from you in 3 days, that means I'm not a priority. And I'll just say, bye-bye. I don't have time for that. So, to Kim's point.
I'm not saying for you to solve it. I'm being realistic about what's going on out here. Men are not doing the things they used to do because they understand that they are a unicorn, right? And so if you're not, so hey, yeah, you call me. Here's my number. I work. You catch me when you can. I mean, really. And that's the things that we're dealing with now. And I'm not saying that you can solve it. What I'm just telling you is what we're dealing with.
So how long have you been dating that guy?
What date? What's a date? That's a whole nother show.
Right. Right.
A date?
How long have you
What is date? That's a whole nother show.
Right.
Because I met a guy once who told me we had to meet first to see if we liked each other, then we could go out on the date.
Why couldn't a date be part of the whole situation? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is just me. We're gonna meet up. I'm gonna make a promise. We're gonna make a date. I'm gonna honor my word, right? I'm gonna show up. We'll know based on when we meet each other, right? We talking. I'm still gonna buy you dinner. I'm not gonna just automatically cast you off and disrespect you because I'm not attracted to you. No, you could be a good friend. You could be not that I'm using you for anything, but it's a network thing. We can always help each other out. You don't have to, because when you meet somebody, it may not always be turned into a relationship or date or marriage. But you might meet somebody and y'all might just be platonic. I may need you in my life at that time. You may need me in your life at that time. But the thing is, a lot of women they don't ask the hard questions. We're gonna meet, right? What are we gonna meet? What are we gonna do? So you got to talk in these relationships. When you meet on a date, you got to talk about the past. You got to talk about his present. You got to talk about his future. If a man shuts down at that point, he don't have any plans to be with you. You know, early start. Y'all don't like to waste time. Women do not like to waste time.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
I understand. I'm not saying there's a lot of men like me, but I understand that. And I went into a lot of dates not thinking about if I'm gonna be with her for the future. My thing was I'm looking for a one night stand, right? So automatically, I shut her down because I didn't want anything else. But I wasn't honest enough in the beginning to say, look, I'm not looking for a relationship. At that point, she'd have been like, well, we don't need to go out, or let's still go out. So you got to allow her. I'm talking from a man's perspective. Allow her to make that decision. If y'all not gonna go out, tell her. Don't just ghost her and then not do it. Don't embarrass her, because a lot of times women, he may not even be your type that night. But if he's still around and y'all still talking, a lot of women grow to like these guys. They grow to understand and love these men. A lot of men, because we have this pool of women that we can choose from, I don't think that way, because in DC it may be a 13-to-1 ratio, women to men, but that don't mean all 13 of them are good to go. Some of them are gonna be just like me. I'm gonna be somebody just like me, just as toxic as I used to be. Just because there's a lot of women for me to choose from, they don't mean that they're all good women. You're not.
Booker T posts a question or a comment on the thread. I'm putting it up now. It says, I met some sisters who said they don't need a man. They can do it all. I'm with Booker T. I know a lot of women who, they sick and tired of the games. They sick and tired of the run around. They feel it's not a good pool of men. And a lot of these women have been celibate, and a few of them have started selling a little bit. So it is, right. So, they much like, a man would be a man whore. So, I mean, what do we do to try to get people back in the mindset of wanting a good, healthy, platonic relationship?
Here's another thing I talk about in my book, Art, and you all. I talk about from end to beginning, and I talk about it for men that are promiscuous like myself. Make sure you think about this before you do it, before you cheat, before you go out here with all these women, before you mislead women, before you deceive them, before you lie to them. Think about the consequences before you do it. She may throw acid in your face. She may key your car. She may go to your kid's school and abduct one of your kids because you broke her heart. I've been scared by some small women because I was misleading and I broke their heart. I'm telling men this because I've been through it. So if you think about the consequences before you do it, and you're not all emotional and turned on because you just want to sleep with her, think about what could go wrong, and actually believe that it can go wrong. And a lot of times with me now, I'm big on that because I don't have any plans to hurt anybody. I don't have any plans to lie or deceive any women, but I did it for a long time. And I think back on it now, I'm like, how did I get away with that? I didn't really get away with it because there was women that were coming at me trying to ruin my career, hurt my body, saying bad things about me. I don't want to see anybody go through that. But the thing is, you got to think about the consequence before you make that step and hurt another woman's feelings. If you don't want to be with her, let her know. If you want to be in a relationship, let her know. Don't lead her on. I was bad for that. I let a lot of women on, but I just, you got to be careful with that. But the thing is, Go ahead.
One of our good friends, Miss Cecily Wilson. We just love her. She was a guest here on the
Yes.
show. Hey, Miss Florida, we
Hey, Miss
love you, darling.
Cecily.
I know we love you, darling. She said, "What are your thoughts on women who choose to wait until sex?" So I guess not giving that cookie up. You know, Steve Harvey had that 90-day rule. A lot of these women out here, like, you know, hey, I ain't that thirsty on sex, and you know, the toy business is big and booming. So what about these women who would really like to get to know a man versus just jumping into bed with them?
So I think that's one of the best things you could do because for me, I had to learn to not think about sex with a woman when I'm just meeting her. And when you wait before you have sex, the sex will ultimately it'll wind up being better because you either waiting, not only that, but you understand her, you know her, you're more attracted to her. You're not just attracted to her body for sex, but now you could possibly be attracted to her mind. I think making a man wait is the best thing to do. I wish women had made me wait before we had sex, because once you have sex, for me, it was like, what else is there for me to be challenged with from her? What else is for me to wait on? I got a car, she got a car, I got a house, I got a good credit score, I got clothes, I got jewelry. What else is there? So now I got the cookies, and it's like there's no challenge. So when you make a man wait, a couple of things will happen. You'll see if he's really into you, for you, or just sex. He'll leave before 90 days, or he'll start to hound you for sex, then he'll leave. Or he'll understand, and he'll say, you know what? You taught me something. I don't have to always have sex with a woman. I want to get to know you first. So I think that's a good thing to do. But you got to make sure that, you know, at that point, when you're starting to really like him, or he's starting to like you, you have to make sure you guys are really into each other. And at the 90-day point, it's like the sex is bad because we never really got along, or we never really like got into each other in those 90 days. So my thing is, I think it's a good thing to wait. But during that waiting process, that's a growing process. That's a learning process. That time is for you to get to know each other and understand each other, and then see the things that you're really attracted to, except aside from her looks and her body. You know, they're like I said earlier, personality is huge to me, and that could make for a better, healthier, longer relationship too. And it's not based on sex then at that point, which I'm really big on that.
Okay.
You know, a friend of mine. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
A friend of mine told me this years ago, and it didn't hit me until a couple years ago. He said the internet was one of the worst things that happened to the dating pool. And I remember one night I was in a bar, and it was like 100 people around me, and I was just on my phone. And this brother tapped me on the shoulder because I was into whatever it was I was doing, probably looking at some politics. And he said, you could have stayed at home for this. And I was like, wow. And I just think some of us have to detach ourselves from our devices and be more engaged with people. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, we're in a pandemic, but once things start opening up, not being buried, because I do that. And I'm not as social as I used to be. But let me just say this. I like everything that you said, Leon, and I really think, you know, I look forward to reading your book.
Thank you. I'm just, it's like I'm just a real dude, no nonsense. Look, I don't want to argue. I'm not hiding nothing. It is what it is right now. How can we make it better? You know, and a lot of people say that the internet screwed this up. The internet did this. I was talking to Art a couple of months ago, and not in a negative way, but I appreciate some of the things that COVID brought upon me because it taught me a lot about myself. I'm more reserved now. I don't need certain things that I thought that I needed. I can sit in the house more. Now, years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this when I was dating somebody that wanted to sit in the house. I'm like, I can't do it, you know, but there are things that we need to be more grateful for that we're not grateful for, that we don't pay attention to. Simple things, you know, learning how to paint your girlfriend or your wife's toenails, learning how to braid your daughter's hair. There's a lot of things we can do that we don't do that's right there in front of us, you know. So the internet can screw things up. The internet can take people away from being social. The internet can make you antisocial, but it doesn't have to do that. You know, I put my phone down one time for 2-3 days, and I noticed that when I did have my phone in my hand like that, I was sick. My stomach was hurting, my head was hurting, my eyes were hurting, and when I put it down, I'm like, I feel better. So it depends on what you attach to, what you think you need in your life, aside from the natural things that we have every day that we take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
All right.
Good
Well,
point.
with that being said, our good friend Cecily Wilson out of Florida, our diva that we love down there, she's asked the question, is it possible to develop a real relationship only connecting on Zoom because of COVID? Well, let me say this to that comment. On Friday, January 29th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Chat Daddy's going to explain that to you guys. I'm going to talk to you about scaling back, dialing down, learning the new way of dating. Bars and restaurants and meeting people and rendezvous and all that stuff, it's not going to happen right away. It's not. First of all, be worried about catching COVID. Second of all, make sure these people don't have any STDs. Make sure they are safe and clean. But it's going to be a minute before we get back to any of that. I hate to be the one to tell you guys that. Remember, I'm the one on this show that says no booty calls until we're at level 6. No governor has come on, no state official has said, you know what? This COVID pandemic is at level 6 now. Y'all can go back to booty calls. It ain't finna happen. So you need to protect yourself.
Party pooper.
That's right. With 4,000 people dying across the country, the moment you go out talking about I done met Boo Thang and have not checked each other out, that's where your problem's gonna be. That's where your problem's gonna be.
Right. You're right.
That I learned this in 2004 when I went to a leadership school. I was in the Navy, but I went to the Air Force Leadership Academy, and they taught us a thing called job mismatch, right? The wrong person for the wrong job. Well, writing my book, I determined, I said, you know what? There's a such thing called relationship mismatch. Because we always think about critical thinking, right? Y'all have heard critical thinking, right? But we never talk about critical knowing. To
That's
know
a good point.
You may want to date or may not want to date. A lot of times, and this goes back to the love languages. You got a woman that's her love language. I have female friends now. Their love language is acts of service, right? But they meet a dude that he don't even know his love language. It damn sure ain't an act of service.
That's right, right.
And she's like, "What's wrong, Leon?" Well, she's depleted because she's giving and he's taking. I don't even talk about give and take. I talk about give and receive. If I know how to give, I know how to receive. If you don't know how to, if you're a taker, you don't know how to receive. You know how to receive, but you don't know how to. You don't know how to give. You know how to take. So a lot of times, a lot of women are on this thing where it's relationship mismatch because you don't do the critical knowing, critical thinking. Fine, got it, but you need to know these people. That's what I talk about. Let's talk about, and I'll put this in my book too. We always talk about wedding vows. Oh, girl, we got our wedding vows. We're going to do our wedding vows, a big party. We're going to do it. Nobody talks about relationship vows. You got to have those relationship vows before you get to those wedding vows. The wedding vows
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our relationship vows, Leon. Let's talk about components of a relationship that I didn't learn until I was 50, going through 6 months of therapy. Components of relationship.
Yeah.
You're gonna allow me to discipline your kids? Am I gonna allow you to discipline my kids? Are we gonna rotate the chores around the house? You know, are we gonna talk every day? Are we gonna communicate? Are we gonna are you gonna understand me when I'm down and out? Are you gonna do you allow me to have my quality time with my girlfriends or my male friend who's not a family member? Okay. A lot of men like, oh hell no, but they want to have the female friends. No, that's not fair, right? But the components of a relationship, you have to understand what they are. Again, critical knowing the person that you're gonna date. It don't have to be like, you don't have to have any expectations. You don't have to, but you're gonna find out if you can expect him to be in your corner when you start asking those critical questions.
Yep.
Y'all have to. Again, I've dated and slept with hundreds of women, sadly. But not one time had they asked me about my love language. Not one time have we talked about relationship vows. Not one time have we talked about the components of a relationship. We were just in a relationship. And then that leads me to talk about this, Art, real quick. And I told you about this before, the thing I called the irresistible minimum. right? I had a job, I had a car, I had an apartment, I had a clear bill of health, I had a 750 credit score. Who's going to turn me down with that? And so a lot of women allow me to get away with that because it's like, okay, you know, I can do all these things, but I got to bear the irresistible minimum. And I don't like talking about that because it gives people ideas, and it'll have a guy misleading women, or women will be more aware of it, and they want to look for other things that he may have, but he may not have anything else. Like me, I can talk all day long, right? I can plan a beautiful weekend. I got a car, house, apartment, good credit score, but I'm not going to love you. I'm going to like the hell out of you, but I'm not going to love you. And I'm going to cheat on you. So I was broken, but I got myself together, you know. But going back to what I was saying, critical knowing. You need to know who this person is. You got to ask those questions. And if he starts, or he or her starts fidgeting in that chair, sweating, going to the bathroom, you got to see those red flags. I'm not telling on anybody, but I was that guy. So I know what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I do. Well, I told you guys, January 29th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Leon will be one of the people who will be joining us in that conversation on the 29th. Details will be revealed Monday on how you can reserve your space for Chat Daddy's virtual relationship chats. It's returning, the first one, Friday, January 29th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And what we're going to do is help peel back a lot of the layers that have kept people from even just wanting to put their toe in the water, to even just get out here on the internet, to just even join certain groups, things like that. Love is out there. I know 3 people that got married during a pandemic. We're actually going to talk to a couple of couples who actually got married during the pandemic. So love is out there. Leon, you do a great job as always, my friend. Tell us how we can get your book and support you, and then we'll let the ladies give their closing thought. Go right ahead, Leon.
Right now, my book is only on Amazon, and that's because Amazon makes us, well, it's only on Amazon right now because I'm trying to, if it does well, Amazon is the one that you can get your book and get ranked on. So right now, it's only on Amazon. The ebook is available now. You can pre-order the paperback and hardcover now, but I'm not going to release the paperback and hardcover until Valentine's Day. The reason why I picked Valentine's Day, I picked that in the beginning of December because Amazon is making authors wait for 8 weeks so they can track the algorithm. So what better day to choose for a release date than Valentine's Day? But yeah, it's on Amazon right now. It's ebook, and you can pre-order the paperback and hardcover now, but you won't get it. It won't be released until Valentine's Day. You can find me on Instagram, IInspire1.com, Leon R. Walker Jr. You can Google me, Facebook, LinkedIn, Leon R. Walker Jr. I'm all over the place. So yeah, that's
very good. Jacqueline has a wonderful comment she put up here, everybody, that we may want to read. And Jacqueline, this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, that a lot of things are hindering us because it was passed down from our fathers, grandfathers, things like that. And that does have a lot to do with how women are treated. That is what we talked about earlier, right, Leon?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
You can definitely break the cycle. You have to be aware of it. I tell people, these young men, look, man, your father died years ago. Your mother said your father was bad. He was in jail, drug dealer, whatever. Your father has some good traits, brother. Your mother has some good traits. Ask your uncle, ask your aunt, ask your grandparents. Our parents passed. I studied my parents after they were dead. And everything I realized I had in me, I got it now that I use it. It makes me a better person. It makes me a much better person. And I studied them after they passed away. So a lot of people forget that. But there's a generational curse, but you can break that generational curse.
Very good. Kim, your closing thoughts with our guests before we close out tonight's show?
Well, just so you all know, I have breaking news. Betsy DeVos, the Secretary of Education, just resigned.
Thank you, Jesus.
Trump.
She should have been gone.
Yep. So just so you know.
Wait, real quick. I'm so damn mad at all these people collecting these hefty ass checks for the last 4 years, and now you gonna quit 2 weeks to the end of your gig. The hell with all of y'all. Okay, I digress. Go ahead, Kim.
I'm just a messenger.
I know.
Well, first of all, I enjoyed the show. Leon, I really enjoyed what you had to say. I look forward to reading your book and maybe having more conversations with you about this. Kudos to you, brother, for opening yourself up.
Thank you.
Yes.
As I say all the time, you all be vigilant about what's going on. Pray, praise, and push. Pray to God about your problems. Pray to Him about everything. He's your Father. He wants to hear from you. And then praise God for what He's done and praise Him for what He's going to do. Great things are going to happen for us in 2021. And then push for whatever it is you want. Leon wanted to be an author, so he pushed himself to write the book. Push for what you want. Faith without works is dead. I look forward to the next time.
All right.
All right. How can we find you, follow you, all that great stuff, darling?
Kimberly Coleman on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Lord. Oh, okay. Sister Girl Speaks on Instagram, Kimberly Coleman on Facebook. It's just spinning. We'll just leave it, honey. I'm telling you, this internet hate us. I think that's what it is. Kay Renee, what would you like to say to Brother Leon?
Well, this is my second time meeting Leon. And so, as always, you are on point. And thank you for your authenticity. I've learned a lot. I cannot wait to get your book. From one fellow author to the next, congratulations. And as all of you know, I post my nuggets. I will be back live on Monday. But here's your nugget for today. Build your dreams, your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-mm. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Wow. Brother Leon, tell everybody again how they can connect with you.
Instagram, I Inspire one, or Leon R. Walker Jr. On Facebook, Leon R. Walker Jr. I'm on Leon Walker Jr. everywhere on LinkedIn, my YouTube channel, and Google. And I want to leave something with people. When you talking about relationships, be careful. And when you meet people, talk to them, get to know them. You have to have that critical knowing. But we always talk about what people are going to bring to the table, right? But sometimes what people bring to the table is a notion to take what you bring to the table. So be careful.
All right. Well, with that being said, Miss Kim had technical issues. We love you, Kim. Thank you so much. Sister Girl Speaks, always a great job. Y'all know this Wi-Fi is the devil, honey, and he hate when we be telling the truth. He just hate when we tell the truth on this show. Right. Leon, brother, always a great job. You know, I got a couple of other things for you coming down the pike. We're going to work on some other things. You always do a great job. Cecily, we just love you, darling, down there in Florida. Congratulations on everything that's been going on with you. I love you, Cecily. We do. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm looking for single men throughout the United States. I'm looking for single men throughout the United States that want to be in a healthy, loving relationship. I have a whole lot of things in store that we want to kind of get rolling, and we're going to do it all virtually online. So January 29th is the first relationship chat of the year. Put it on your calendar. Details will be released on Monday on how you can reserve your early space. And it's a limited number of people that will be able to partake in this first relationship chat on Friday, January 29th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It won't be broadcast like this. It'll be a private session. I promise you that. On behalf of my co-host, the amazing Miss Kay Renee of Karen's Nuggets, they'll be back on Monday. Author and self-proclaimed relationship guru who does a great job. Our good friend, Mr. Leon R. Walker. Leon, brother Leon, he's the best. He really is. Yeah. Yes, we really do. So listen, I want you guys to all have a wonderful and safe weekend. Don't forget to wear your mask. We're still in a pandemic. Still, COVID is crazy. Wear your mask. Make sure you cover your nose and your mouth. Make sure you wash your hands. Soap and water is the most important thing. If you don't have soap and water, hand sanitizer is essential. Make sure you guys are cleaning your hands, clean under them fingernails. You're digging in every place. You know where you dig at, and things come out when you dig, right? So clean your hands, social distance, and if you're not feeling well, keep your ass in the house. Right, Leon? Keep your ass in the house.
Stay in the house.
You've been doing that,
Right.
Leon. Is it different?
Yeah, because I'm a social guy, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm gonna tell you something real quick. How much time you got, Art? A
Well,
minute?
you good? Go ahead. Yeah, you good.
Check this out. So I got a cable bill, right? $1,200. And I was like, what?
Oh,
I was hot. And so I called them, and what happened was there was fraud on my account 4 months ago, and I forgot to update my stuff. It was longer than that. So they kept billing me, but I wasn't paying my cable, but it was still on. And so I'm like, what happened? So I found out that I didn't update my credit card. Anyway, I said, okay, y'all got me. Bet. I'm going to pay it because I want you putting on my credit report, right? I said, cut my cable off. I've had cable since 1983, right? Thinking that I needed it. They cut my cable off, Art. I had 4 channels for a whole year and did not miss cable. I started watching Christian music channels and I fell in love with music. I have never listened to Christian music, ever.
Yes. See
And
there?
this is really peaceful for me. I've
Yes.
had cable in over a year.
Yep. I'm not a cable person either. I'd rather have damn good Wi-Fi versus cable TV. I'm just not. And here's the deal with social media, people, they tell everything that's happening anyway. So any of these popular
Amen.
shows, all you have to do is follow the timeline and see what everybody has said. And then you go back and look at it on YouTube and all that. Look, brother, cable TV is one thing that I do not miss. Do you understand me? And they sell little antennas now so small, you stick them on the back of a TV, people won't know any difference other than you don't have those cable channels. But if you have
Right.
streaming services and all that, I cut that cord a long time ago, but now they want to charge you at least $100 to $150 for good Wi-Fi. That's crazy because they know Wi-Fi is the end thing now.
They know. But
Exactly.
1,000 channels to 4 channels. At first I was like, and I'm like, all right, let me watch this Christian channel. Let me listen to some Christian music. And it resonated with my soul. I started liking it.
All right. Well, brother Leon, I got some things for you. You gonna be one of the gentlemen that talk to our bachelorette coming up soon, and we're gonna have you hang out on the 29th. We appreciate you so much, really. Brothers like you make me feel great because at least we know honesty can be talked about out here, and that's what we need to do more of. Is
Amen.
honesty. Yes. All right. Well, God bless. Kay Renee, I love you, my dear. I'll see you next week. Be good. We want you all to be safe and healthy. Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, go over to therealchatdaddy.com. That's where you can find out more information about yours truly, therealchatdaddy.com. Hopefully, when we come back on Monday, we will be announcing that Donald Trump has been removed from office by then. I'm
Yes,
hoping.
Lord.
Hoping.
Don't pray.
Little baby Jesus, we're hoping Donald Trump is removed from office by
Yes,
Monday.
Lord.
That's a
How
sick-
about that? Yeah, I know he really is. On behalf of my co-host and our guests and our other co-hosts, Miss Kim, Sister Girl Speaks. Good night. God bless. You all have a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you later. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.